Handling legal matters is stressful. So, let the law offices of Frank Bruno Jr. provide you with the insightful counsel you deserve. The law offices of Frank Bruno Jr. has successfully handled thousands of cases for 25 plus years. They focus on elder law and estate planning, but are equipped to navigate you through all stages of family law and divorce to real estate law and probate. The law offices of Frank Bruno. Call 718-418-5000 or visit them at frankbrunolaw.com. That's frankbrunolaw.com. Frank Bruno. He's your numero uno.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories. It's Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
Well, all the streets are closed. President Biden is coming through, and I guess they got double barricades and
lots of
and I understand
protection.
You have Governor Rendell on.
I can't wait. We have right now here on Katz and Cosby the legendary, of course, former Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell, Democrat. Governor, we love having you on. Your thoughts about the debate last night?
Well, obviously, I was disappointed. I hoped that Joe Biden would show the country that he still has plenty of cognitive resources. He's as smart and able mentally and decision-making as anybody I know. But he was clearly tired. You could see that when he walked out. He was tired. And it's interesting, in a 90-minute debate, usually no matter how strong or young you are, you get a little tired near the end. It was interesting. If you watch the whole debate, Joe Biden got stronger near the end and was more lucid and spoke in a deeper voice, etc. But it wasn't a good showing by the president. He could much better than that, and he's performed State of the Union 2 months ago. He hit it out of the park. So I was disappointed. But I also was interested to see that the other president, President Trump, probably didn't say a truthful thing in the entire night, including the fact that he wasn't interested in running. He only ran to save the country from Joe Biden. He's interested in running to get back at all the people he thinks caused him to lose. He still won't admit to the fact that he lost legitimately. 65 court decisions, many of which were made by judges appointed by Donald Trump or other Republican presidents, and he lost 64 out of 65 decisions. The election was, according to the person Donald Trump picked as his czar to police the federal election, the czar who Donald Trump appointed said it was the cleanest election we've had in decades, and he got fired the next week.
Governor, you think that there'll be a move to oust him, or do you think there's going to be a move to support him? Because today he was at the North Carolina, and he was his old self, and he looked pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be a serious effort to remove him. I mean, one thing about Democrats, and I've been a Democrat all my life, my father took me out to jack up Adlai Stevenson signs in 1952 when I was a 7-year-old kid, and I've been a Democrat all my life. The one thing about us, we can find something to bitch about, something to whine about in the sunniest picture. And this was not the sunniest picture. There's reason to be concerned. But let me bring all of you back. And I know, John, you're old enough to remember this. I don't know about Rita. But let me bring it back.
Thank you.
Ronald Reagan. You sound young, Rita.
Thank you.
Let me bring you back to the Ronald Reagan running for re-election, 1984, running against Walter Mondale, a very good, sound candidate. And when the election started, Reagan was a big favorite. He was up by 15, 16 points. Then they had the first debate. And you remember it was almost legendary. President Reagan seemed a little rocky during the debate, but in his closing, his 2-minute closing, he absolutely went far afield. You couldn't understand a word he was saying. He didn't have any sentences, and he basically was just babbling for 90 seconds. And it was stunning. It was almost shocking. And it was a big downer, and everyone was saying, is he strong enough to be president? Does he have his mental faculties? And Reagan dropped from a 15, 16-point lead to a 2-3-point lead until the next debate, 2.5 weeks in the future. The next debate, Ronald Reagan started off by saying, I want to make one announcement. And I want to say that age is an issue, but I'm not going to take advantage of it. I'm not going to take advantage of my opponent's inexperience in my opponent's.
You got a reaction to bring you home.
Yeah, I think the dog's upset by that.
Who let the dogs out? Governor Patterson, you have a quick comment.
Ed, how are you?
Good.
So, just precisely what you just said, I think, is one of the differences between this debate faux pas and the last one, because Ronald Reagan only had to wait 2.5 weeks to get back on the stage and pull himself back up. There isn't going to be a public appearance like that by Biden until the Democratic National Convention, which is going to be in August. So between now and then, when you mention the name President Biden, the vision of what went on last night is going to haunt him. I see that as a problem. And the other thing I want to ask you about is these people, we had a law professor on who should stick to law, that these people who think that a radical left winger would be put on the ticket if Biden were to get off are out of their minds. The Democratic Party is not controlled by that section of the party, nor would they allow someone like that to go up against Trump.
Are you sure about that, Governor Patterson?
I'm totally sure about it. If a radical left-wing candidate ran against Donald Trump, it would be a Nixon-McGovern type of race.
But it's not going to happen. The majority of, if you look at the younger group of potential Democratic candidates, they are all moderate. None of them are radical. None of them are even be described as overly progressive. The Westmore, Governor Shapiro of my home state, who was one of the people I picked out to be a legislative leader when I was governor. Those two, for example, Amy Klobuchar is no radical. She's a good moderate. Trying to think of some of the others.
We got to go to a break. Governor Rendell, have a great weekend.
You too, guys.
And I look forward to seeing you at your next party.
But mark my words, there's going to be ebbs and flows in this election all the way up to Election Day.
Well, it sounds good. We'll catch up with you real soon. And have a great weekend.
You too, John.
Thank you.